right. Good morning. And we are here once again with the morning ritual for guitar growth. I'll be your host today, Jason Carey, here at Jason Carey Guitar right here on YouTube. And we're going to start. Guitars are all in tune. Everything is ready to go. And we'll go ahead and start with, let's see, why can't I access this live? Maybe that's an issue. Could be an issue. Let me just see what's going on here. Oh, here we go. All right, good morning, Kevin. Great to see you, my friend and neighbor and fellow guitar practitioner. It's a great day to be playing the guitar. And so what we'll do, we'll go ahead and just start right away with 2 and 4. We're just starting with something a little bit different, you know, something that we're doing 4 notes per string, as you know, but it's not essential to do 4 notes per string. It's not essential at all. Not 4 notes per string. 4 attacks per beat. That's not essential. Of course, if you'd like, you can do 2 attacks per beat, 1 attack per beat, 3 attacks per beat. Whatever works for you, I would recommend doing that. But I'm using fingers 2 and 3 now, and I'm practicing a light finger stretch, and you can see where the thumb is on the back of the guitar neck. The back of the guitar neck it's a free space to roam, right? And if I want carpal tunnel, I'll place my thumb over here, and I'll get all of that tendon working way too hard, and I'll definitely have a problem here. If I want safe, luxurious, longitudinal success in my playing, then I'll go ahead and kind of place the thumb as the median between the 2 active or all of the active fingers. You know, so the thumb is always sort of be in between distributing power. So that's a really great thing to remember. If you don't, sometimes you'll see my thumb up here, you know, saying hello, good morning, Kevin, and good morning, Robbie. And no, I got plenty of sleep last night. I'm just playing around. You don't have to worry. I have a wife who worries for me. So, all right, here we go. We've got all the way down to positions, 1. And I'm thinking, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If I can count 3s while I'm playing 4s, that's a pretty good sign. That's how I know I have sort of at least a little bit of rhythm in the bag. So fingers 1 and 2 on frets 10 and 12. Again, it could be just simple. Good morning, Mark joins us. Robbie's joined us. The great Kevin Haas is here with us. And then fingers 1 and 2, and we're using this, nice, very nice, very nice sort of tempo, 80 beats per minute. Hey, I have a question for you. I was considering changing my stage name. Let's say I wanted to separate my artist profile from my personal sort of like guitar, my Jason Carey guitar channel on YouTube. I was considering JJ Carey or Jimmy Carlson. Something with the name Johnson in it would be cool too. I was thinking Johnson would be a cool name to promote. I probably won't do it, but Jimmy Johnson, Jimmy Crack Corn, he didn't care. These are all fly fishing code names too, by the way, so I don't want to give too many of them away. You're constantly building your name, Jason. I think it's a good brand. All right, I like Kevin the Great. Kevin the Great's pretty cool. Hey, Zumanji's here. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. With thumb back upright. How can I help the pinky reach the 6th string? Oh, that's a good question. Did you see what I just did here? I migrated from my, this is vertically, you know, horizontally flipped, as you may have guessed, right? Happy picking ain't right. So I'm moving from my right knee to my left knee, and this morning I had my metronome clicking away at 120 up in the farmhouse, and I just start early. I start early every morning, and so I don't always disclose that I've already sometimes I've already warmed up. Today I'll disclose that, but what I like to do is I like to use the thumb. This is a money shot, so if once you hear this, you're gonna want, I'm gonna look for you to, you know, smash the like button, because this is one of those things that, you know, it's a secret. It's a guitar secret. And that thumb right here, the face of the thumb goes on the nape of the guitar neck, and that actually becomes our pivot point. So you can see that I'm anchored on position right around 6.5 or something like that, 7. And I can literally reach from position 1 without actually moving my thumb. I can reach from position 1 all the way up to the range of where the guitar body meets the neck. That's just from moving that, using that thumb as a pivot point. And we're going to talk about that later on as we develop a good vibrato technique, but that's where good vibrato technique comes from, is that thumb, right? So fingers 2 and 3 and 4 on 10, 11, and 12. So if I want my pinky, if my thumb is in place in the middle, right about the middle of the back of the guitar neck, right about, you know, right about here somewhere. And maybe I'll do a session backwards one of these times so you can just watch the thumb through the whole session. That might be helpful. But the thumb is right around here, sort of like halfway on the radius where the skunk line would be if you're playing a Strat. And then I drop my thumb a little bit further, I angle it down and sort of smear it like I'm a rock climber doing the toe dance. And then I'll go ahead and use that as that pivot to my thumb. My 4th finger can't reach that low E string, but now if I pivot if I give myself, I drop the thumb down, give my hand plenty of room. I don't have my thumb up here like I'm not playing Hendrix. You know, I'm dropping it down. I have plenty of room to pivot so that my fingers are all square and level. I call it level, right? Plumb would be not something we're really looking for, but we're level with the low E string, the A string, and so we have that reach. That reach becomes super easy. 1 E and 2 fingers, 3, 2, 3, and 4 on low E string, and we're using a 3-finger effort at this point. We're just going to cook right along. Oh yeah, more pivot, less anchor. That's a good way to put it, to simplify it. Robbie, yeah. Uncle JC. Uncle JC would be a cool stage name. Rob, I accidentally bought a new guitar a couple of weeks back. Oh, that's right. We've still got to get that. I think that's scheduled to appear on the timeline here soon. I know it's all done. I'll have to go and take a look at it. I don't know if I've seen it. Have you seen it up there on the community post? Nice, Mark. Great mistake. Yeah, well done, Mark. Mark, did you accidentally have a pocket full of cash? Once in a while, I'll do that too. You know, I'll have a, oops, where'd that pocket full of cash come from? It's a pretty tough problem to absorb, you know, in one's life. But, you know, you make do. So we've got this really nice recipe for success brewing right now. It's simmering. It takes a while. I just reorganized season 1. I almost put season 1 behind a membership wall as the morning ritual for guitar growth. I almost put it behind a membership wall, and I'm thinking, why would I do that? The whole idea of doing these exercises every morning is for those of us who actually want to learn the guitar and be with the guitar. And I'm like, people like me aren't going to want to, have another thing to get in the way of access. That's just, so I decided to keep all of these seasons completely free. And then that was a decision that was completely finalized yesterday. So we have fingers 1 and 2 and 4. So if you're ready, if you want to go back through season 1 and you want to get your 260 hours or 936,000 clicks in the bank, that's a great way to sort of prepare the foundations for what we are about ready to do this year. This year we're going to make some noise. This year is going to be, we're going to rattle the cage a little bit. Yep. The cage match has begun. All of the cages, the gates are closed, and we're just going to go wild in here. And very few rules. You know what I mean? It's the only rule is that I spend the time down with the guitar. And I work on my posture. I remember my posture, super important for me, because otherwise my back will hurt, and then it causes my neck to hurt, my shoulders. So I want to avoid all that stuff. So I'll go ahead and use fingers 1 and 3 and 4 now. And of course, if you're a fingerstyle player, you can start thinking in terms of that, fingers 1 and 3. If you're holding the pick, if you wanted to convert between plectrum playing, you can see right now I'm using fingers 1 and 3 on my picking hand, and I'm just kind of taking those guys for a walk. And then I have my pick here, right? So it's hard for me to duck the pick down into the pinky finger without dropping it, my old hands or whatever. So I like to keep that pick here, and that gives me, some capabilities to switch into the fingerstyle guitar. That C. We're going to talk about diminished sequencing a little later, so stick around. But yeah, that's all fair game. So we're finding ourselves back in the world of the 1, 2, 3, 4. And I am picking, I got my plectrum going, and you can't see it at this angle, but I'll come back around. To this angle and adjust the thingamajiggy, and then we'll get with the reality of I could hold on to the pick and I could keep the pick in the thumb and index fingers, and then I could also work on just finger styling or finger picking with the middle and ring fingers, because that's going to become super handy for some of the other things that we decide to work on, in the future. We want to be able to go back and forth between all of these techniques at a moment's notice, because you never know if we're going to be playing Django Reinhardt, or if we're going to be playing, 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝘀cie or if we're going to be playing the blues. And if you're like Joe Bonamassa, Mr. Bonamassa might, enjoy squeezing those tones out of his guitars with, a 57 or 97 SG with his fingers. So you never know. And Mr. Derek Trucks, if you ever want to play slide guitar, I've got a really cool K. It's an Art Deco sort of like you know, that Empire State Building sort of design, a lap steel guitar that's working its way up here to the shop, that we're going to start working on C6 tuning and A6 tuning. And we're going to start looking at lap steel guitar. So you may want to find your bar, may want to get like a lap steel bar, because we're going to start adding some of those colors to our arsenal, right? We're talking about becoming well seasoned. Every time we add a new ingredient, we have to season it, and then we put another ingredient on top of it. There's that little butter lettuce. We need to put a little seasoning on top of that. Maybe not salt, but maybe a little pepper, cracked pepper. So that's what we're doing. And let me just restart this, because I've just gotten all over the place this morning, and I'm going to take a little stretch break after this, because I know it's about time for that stretch break. But right now, let's just focus on breathing. I'm going to focus on breathing. You do whatever you want to do. I don't care what you do. You know, you want to get up and dance around like 𝗘𝗽𝗀cie 𝗱𝗲, or go get yourself an apple or an orange, some citrus, sip on some tea, put on the morning news, God forbid. Oh my gosh. Good luck with that. So just working on my breath. I'm pushing all the way out. I'm right at the end of my exhale now. Go all the way until I can't push another breath out, and then I take my sweet time improving my intake, because I don't gasp, I don't grab that air as I come back to it. I roundly get that intake cycle going. So let's go ahead and use fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and stretch 4. And last night I had I sat down with an electric guitar in the kitchen next to the wood-burning cook stove, with the pooch in the back of the recliner. You know, we have a couple pieces of furniture in the kitchen, the big kitchen, old farmhouse kitchen. And you've seen it, some of you have seen it. And I forget like how much we could spend an entire 3-month, an entire semester, an entire quarter anyway, 3 months anyways, just focusing on what the pick does. Hey, 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝘀cie, good morning. Retired young, oh hey, 1975. I do have the, are you still here? The action's fairly low. Does it sound low? It probably sounds low, right? It sounds like Wes Montgomery smoking at the half note with the Kelly Trio, right? Have you heard that record, like Unit 7 and 4 on 6? Some of those guitar solos, you know, he's like got his strings riding that fretboard. You know what I mean? It's just got, it sounds like distortion on the amp, but you know the strings are like just slapping against the guitar. So that's Wes Montgomery smoking at the half note. That's with the Kelly Trio. You're gonna love it. I can tell by how smooth you're fretting. Okay, all right. I figured my tone wasn't so buttery. It was just a little bit gritty. And sometimes you become a victim of that grit. Like Billy Sheehan talks about from Mr. Big, you know, the really like the prodigal bass player that played with Paul Gilbert in that lineup. And he always talked about how let's get a quick stretch in here. He still talks about how lowering the strings and lowering the action gives the rock enthusiast a little bit of extra grit, a little bit of extra tone, especially for the recordings. But some of us are actually looking for that grit. And that's one good way of getting that grit, sprinkling that grit onto our technique, is by adjusting the string height, or we'd call it the action. There are a lot of variables, as Jill might know, 𝗘𝗫𝗀𝘀cie, she's a guitar luthier. She knows that there are a lot of variables involved in setting and adjusting the action of a guitar, and that's a whole weekend-long discussion. It's an entire weekend. But yeah, that grit is welcomed by a lot of rockers. And I enjoy that thin line between introducing grit into my guitars, and I'm okay with a little bit of grit, but I prefer it if I can also manage a crystal clean, you know, a crystal clear tone as well. So if part of the setup for my guitars is can I play super clean, and then if I ask a little bit more from the guitar, can I make the guitar break up while without having the amp break up, right? So part of being, geez, it's such a big discussion. All right, let's just go. I'm talking way too much. Let's go ahead and use fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and stretch 4. I think we already did that. Let's go ahead and do fingers 1 and 2. Let's do the kickstand here. So we're on position number 9, and then finger 1 kicks back to fret number 8. This is the famous kickstand exercise, and it's famous because we named this in our first season because the first finger sort of just kicks back. And then one of our good friends here in the live chat, she's a guitar luthier, and 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝘀cie, she built her first guitar and nicknamed that guitar after this exercise, kickstand. So that's kind of a cool thing to be able to say. I really enjoy saying it. I know it sounds like a broken record sometimes when I say it, but I really enjoy the fact that someone is paying attention to the finer things in life. And I remember, Jill, if you're still here, I remember talking with you early on in season 1, and you had a short list of songs that you wanted to manage to learn and work on. Do you still have? So it's a 2-part question. Three-part question. Do you still have that list of songs that you still would like to work on? And are you still interested? Would you be, I guess it's a 2-part, would you be willing to share that list with us, like 2 or 3 songs with us right here now, so that we can, maybe we can all benefit from taking a good look at those songs and re-listening to those songs. So that would be cool. That would be a great thing. Let's go ahead and take a look. I look like the version of Steve Martin where he's in his tuxedo eating at the dinner table with his patch on, and he's trying to make the spaghetti get into his mouth with his fork, and like he's stabbed his eye over. He's such a great dude, such a great comedian. I was trolling his science page today. It was amazing. I never do that, but I just couldn't resist. Love watching you play, man. Hey, Southern String, what's going on? Southern String, we ought to do a collaboration at some point. Hey, good morning. Aloha. It's good morning from Hawaii. Welcome, Hiccups. Yeah, welcome. Welcome indeed. Welcome, Southern String. Retired young, 75. This is great. This is wonderful. I can tell how smooth. Okay, I got you. All right, so I'm just going to keep on so we can get through all of our stuff. So let's go ahead and use this moment to get through our. Boy, I thought we were starting strong, and I got talking today. So we're doing our. This is our diagonal exercise, and we're starting in string groups. Today we're going to use contiguous string groups. I'm on the middle string group at the moment, ascending from which is like the 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and then 4 3 2 1 4 3 2 1. That's the pattern. And then I'm going to commit to the bottom 4 strings, and and I'm using all alternate pickings, you know, because I think using all one direction picking will be really, you would play twice as slow, right? So I'm going to use this contiguous string group, and I'm going to just kind of pop a little firecracker in the middle of it somewhere, and we're going to take these fingers. So you see how we were starting here. I'm going to move this first finger down to low E, and that fourth finger up to high E. High E. You see my fourth finger waving at you? It's not. So what I like to do is breathe in and out. And try to be as accurate as I can. If I need to go back to 2 attacks per beat, or even 1 attack per beat, in order to reach perfection, or triple it, or 5s or whatever, I can do that. I'm happy to do that, or just turn off the metronome so that I can make it through successfully. Let's go ahead and just treat the pentatonic system here. We'll work until about 7:58, and then we'll transition to the next piece of we're adding the diminished sequence into our morning ritual for guitar growth. So who was here yesterday? Who was it, Mark? Who asked about diminished yesterday? I think it was Mark. Hey, retired, thank you. Yeah, great. We're here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. So this is it's a small but mighty crew. And it's a great time to be alive on the guitar. You know, it's a great time to be alive in general, because now we can practice just staying focused on the things that really matter in life. The one thing that really matters in life. And that's, of course, that could be different for everyone, I think. But all right, so let's, what are we doing? We're going to talk about the diminished sequence. 'Twas me about, Greenberry, yes, Marco. So Marzak, Marco, this is the same dude, right? 'Twas me about diminished chords, and let's fill a few diminished chords now at 7:58. Remember yesterday we started with C, E flat, and G flat, and then we took that an octave higher, C, E flat, G flat, and then we took it yet again another octave higher. And how do we down climb the ladder? Well, we need to know where the rungs are, so it's important that I identify where the first finger is. That's the position indicator. Now I'm switching quickly, rapidly, to position number 10, 2 middle strings, same 3 notes. And then position number 13, same 3 notes, C, E flat, G flat. The next thing we're going to talk about today is transitioning from, because this is going to open up the door for the minor 7 flat 5 eventually, or the complete diminished 7 sequence. But where are we at? Okay, C. Now I'm on position number 6, and then so C, E flat, G flat. Now I'm looking for 2 positions higher and 2 middle strings, C, E flat, G flat, same shape. Now I'm looking at 3 positions higher, then 3rd finger, same 3 notes, C, E flat, G flat. So I'm really watching, like, where is my first finger, because that will inform the position of all other fingers, right? do all, I want to go there, but I don't really. I want to wish you a good day today, and I thank you for being here, and I really appreciate you all just kind of having a good sense of humor and being here for the guitar, with the guitar, and with each other, and supporting each other in our own endeavors to grow with the guitar. So once again, I'm Jason, here at Jason Carey Guitar. I'm your host of the Morning Ritual for Guitar Growth, and this is Season 2, Episode 14, I believe. So Season 2, we're doing it. Season 1 was just came and went, just like a blink of an eye. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow at the same time, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Simon, good morning. Good morning. Glad I found ya. Retired 1975. You and me both. Yeah. Woohoo! Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations. And there we have it, the official ending of the 14th episode of Season 2, right here with Brother 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝘀cie. And what does he have to say this morning? Have a great day, everyone. Until tomorrow, exclamation point. And we'll leave with that. Until we meet again, I wish you all happy.